All right, well, real quick, I want to make sure that tile where we fixed it didn't have any issues. Looks all good to me. Move that pole around, didn't hear any water. I can't remember. I think we screwed up and put that post right back on top of that tile line. Now all that stuff for posts is the end post. Then we'll get the anchors in today. And then we're going to try and do a little bit of planting here this afternoon, along with 1,000 other things we got to get done. All right, well, real quick, we're gonna get this thing put back together. We're also gonna get this thing set up for grapes because most likely this sprayer is gonna spray some grapes here in the next week or two. But we got the new arm, got the new bolt, so let's get this all put back together, hooked back up. Then we're gonna take the sprayer off and just kind of set it because this needs to get a grape chopper put on it quick. Just like that, arms in, new bolts in. This is the bolt that snaps, so that's junk. And then real quick, I got this thing switched over to grapes, 4 nozzles on the bottom, and got our high-speed fan lever into the low position. So we're gonna set this thing down now, but it's ready. All right, they got the end posts in on this side and angled. They're working on those down there. It is cold out. It is in the 40s today. This sucks. And then I just took the auger off that and put in the little custom thing we made a while back for anchors. That's with the planter hooked up. It's so cold, I'm not videoing a whole lot out here. But I got the planter hooked up to that, chopper dropped. Both these sprayers are unhooked. This is gonna go to the grape chopper. This is gonna go to my apron. So it took me a little bit to find the greaser in that middle shaft, but I finally got it. So now we're out here mowing. Dad is mowing grapes. We're gonna start planting a little bit tomorrow. At least get that last planting in, but we're gonna get this knocked out tonight. And then we're gonna have to cover up again because we got like 5 days of rain. So I need to get this mowed tonight so I can get this tractor back off this chopper and get this thing hooked back up to a sprayer. Which the sprayer's already ready to go, so just gotta hook back up. I'll tell you what, on the very tippity top of some of these hills, these high spots, the grapes look a little bit better. Not great, but at least there's something. New block is going in nicely. Gonna reload some trees, make another pass. Nothing else I'd rather do on my birthday. Got a new orchard in. That's the best birthday wish you can ask for. Last planting of the season, finally in the ground. Get a work done, get some dirt around these things, right before the rain in a couple days. Drill some holes and some tires. Now actually we're gonna start drilling these holes in the post for the trellis. Boys are moving quick today. So I've been doing a second job lately of filming, but we got a bunch of trellis built. I'll show you some of that when we get back. Right now, taking some peachlets back to a neighbor that let me borrow some last season. We go grab some lunch with them, look at some apples, and then head back. Gotta get a fertilizer spreader. It's almost time to go. So I finally got all the orchards nice and mowed. Now we're out fertilizing. And I'm using an open face just so I can really kind of be out here and look at this crop, see what's out here. Some blocks look better than others, some look worse than others, so this just gives me a good time to see it. All right, so we're doing the fertilizer a little bit different this year. In the past, you've seen the big wagon, big spout, shooting it out. Now I got it in these kind of tote bags that you see like corn and beans, seed, and some of that stuff come in. Makes it easy. See, if we do real good, we can get these things on without having to get out. Look at that. Ah, I missed one. Easy. Just like that. Then we're just gonna lift this thing over the front. Make sure we're not near the power line. And then the fun part is trying to screw with this string. Johnny put these so tight. All right. Pretty easy. One more to go. I'm never going back to fertilizer the other way. So much easier. All right, so we're in the new block, putting some non-bearing fertilizer down. These things are greening out beautiful. The whole trellis is built. I didn't really get much video of us building trellis. I just saw some of the tile breakdowns. But basically, after we got these planted, we marked out where all these posts were with flags. Came back in, the guys made pilot holes where all they were. Dumped the posts in the road. Then Mario was digging these with the auger. The other guys were putting them into the black marks that I had made. Once we got all the posts in, on the very ends were the anchors. They got the anchors in and put the tie downs on. Then they went through and stapled where all the wires were gonna go. Then they string all the wire through. While they did all the bottom ones, I came in and drilled holes in all the end posts for the grip. They lifted the top wire up to the top and put 2 staples on the tops. I tightened all the wires, got all the tension on them, and then these guys had this black string, and they kind of strung them up. And they almost do like a grate now, and they got to that first wire, spun them around, and they're pretty nice and straight. There's the anchors I'm talking about, tie downs, and these are the gripples. They pull through after we drill holes. So yeah, I'm really excited how this trellis turned out. Every planting I've done a trellis a little bit different way. So far, this is the happiest I have been with a trellis design I've done. I think it's holding the best. It's the easiest to put up, the fastest. Get the most tension on the wires. I don't know. I'll let you guys know as this keeps going. But yeah, I think it's the best one so far. But we're gonna get this last bit of fertilizer out, so we can start some afternoon spraying this afternoon as it heats up, kind of back to some cold weather. And you can see this is where we broke that tile and fixed it. It is dry, it is wet. There's still a piece of the old clay tile. I'm gonna leave that there so I remember where that's at. Maybe gonna follow that angle if that's planted. So I guess some of you guys that don't farm may not really know what this thing is or how it works. So this is a fertilizer spreader. It's pretty simple. Got a PTO shaft, spins back here, runs these little spinners. We got shields and banders on. Instead of just being it broadcasted everywhere, we direct it right to the tree row because that's where the roots are. Then you got this cord. A lot of them are hydraulics, but they were out of those, so I dealt with the cord. You pull it or hit your lever, and it kind of hits this little block back here. And this little block allows these gears to turn, which lets you, we have your gate opening here, and lets this chain belt move around and bring your material out, dump it down so that these spreaders can throw it. And you got to have this locked down on your tire where that sprocket is so that it can turn that. And you got a bunch of belts and pulleys. And the biggest thing is to make sure your rate is right. So one, you want to be in low range. So you check your gear to make sure you're in low range. Then each of your sheets will have a density on it, and then you'll have an application rate of what you want to be at. So let's figure out your density. Let's say you want to be at, whatever, 400 pounds to the acre. Well, you go through this little thing. So if you need to be 400 pounds per acre, divide that by 20, multiply your desired driving interval. So like for here, if I'm going every middle, it's going to be 14 foot. If I'm going every other middle, it's going to be 28 foot. That way, if I'm going down these mills, it's going to put less product. If I'm going every doubles, it'll put more product out so I can get to what I want to need to per acre. And then you adjust accordingly to whatever this comes out to is where you need to put what you want to put out. You see what the gate opening is, and you open your gate appropriately so you got material. But we're done with this now, so time to get this unhooked and get it back. Ooh, that would have been bad. Put this in transport mode.